Cheap cars usually come with a warning label. You get what you pay for. Most of the time, that's true. Low prices often mean weak engines, endless warning lights, and garage bills that add up faster than the car's value. But here's the surprise. Not every cheap used car is a trap. Some are absolute bargains that keep going for years, racking up mile after mile without draining your wallet. In this video, we're counting down 9 cheap cars that are actually reliable. No gimmicks, no fragile engines, just proven workhorses that can save you thousands over the long run. And we're starting with a Toyota that often gets overlooked in the shadow of its more famous sibling, the Corolla. Number 9. Toyota Auris. The Toyota Auris never had the glamour of its big brother, the Corolla. It wasn't the car you bought to impress your neighbors. But here's the secret. Under that plain styling lies the same Toyota DNA that made the brand famous for reliability. The 1.6 petrol engine, in particular, is a gem. No fragile turbos, no complicated electronics, just a straightforward powertrain that shrugs off miles like it's nothing. Owners report Auris is comfortably passing 150,000 miles, with nothing more than routine servicing, oil changes, filters, and maybe the occasional clutch. Timing chains last, gearboxes rarely fail, and suspension wear is minimal compared to rivals like the Ford Focus or VW Golf. Even better, parts are cheap, and because Toyota sold so many, any mechanic in the UK knows how to work on them. Depreciation has also been kind to buyers. You can pick one up for under £3,000, and unlike some bargain cars, it won't surprise you with a £1,500 repair bill the moment MOT season arrives. It's not flashy, but it's the kind of car you buy once and quietly keep for years. If the Auris proves Toyota's strength, the next car shows Honda's magic trick. A tiny hatchback that somehow manages to outlast cars twice its size. Number 8. Honda Jazz. The Honda Jazz is the kind of car people buy once and then stick with for life. It may look ordinary, even labeled a grandparent's car, but its reliability record is anything but dull. The 1.4 petrol engine is almost unbreakable. Plenty of examples in the UK have passed 100,000 miles, with many still going strong beyond 200,000, often on their original engines and gearboxes. Its secret? Simplicity. No turbochargers, no fragile timing belts, just a naturally aspirated Honda engine built to last with basic maintenance. Clutches, gearboxes, and suspension components all hold up well, even after years of city driving and potholes. Add in Honda's clever magic seats, and the Jazz offers practicality far beyond its size. Families love it, older drivers trust it, and mechanics barely see them because they hardly ever break. It might not be stylish, but the Jazz proves that boring cars can be brilliant, cheap to run, tough as nails, and totally dependable. Next, a Japanese hatchback that rivals the Golf and Focus, but with far fewer headaches. Number 7. Mazda 3. The Mazda 3 is one of the UK's most underrated hatchbacks. It never sold in Golf or Focus numbers, but for used buyers that's a huge advantage. The 2.0 petrol Skyactiv engine is almost bulletproof. No turbos, no fragile injectors, no complex emissions kit. Just a naturally aspirated unit built to last. Many owners report passing 160,000 miles with nothing more than routine servicing. Better still, the Mazda 3 often costs less than a Golf or Focus of the same age, making it a bargain that quietly matches Toyota and Honda levels of dependability. And unlike many sensible buys, it's actually fun to drive. Sharp steering, well-balanced suspension, and a lightweight feel make it one of the most enjoyable hatchbacks in its class. The only real caution is rust, which can creep in on older examples. Mechanically though, it's one of the toughest, most dependable cheap cars you can buy. Next, we head to a British favourite, the Ford Focus. But beware, not every version is reliable. Number 6. Ford Focus. The Ford Focus has been a British bestseller for years, practical, fun to drive, and cheap to own. But not all engines are equal. The later EcoBoost versions are infamous for coolant leaks and overheating, leaving owners with huge repair bills. The older 1.6 naturally aspirated petrol, however, is a hidden gem. It's simple, durable, and doesn't rely on fragile turbos or complex fuel systems. With regular servicing, these Focus models often cruise well past 200,000 miles without major issues. Timing belt jobs are straightforward, and replacement parts are everywhere thanks to the car's huge sales numbers, keeping costs low when something does wear out. The only real downside is age. Most surviving examples now have high mileage, so a solid service history is a must. But find a well-looked-after one, and you've got a Focus that's far tougher and more dependable than its newer siblings. Next, we head to Korea, where the Hyundai i30 proved that budget motoring can also mean long-term reliability. Number 5. Hyundai i30. The Hyundai i30 might not grab headlines like a Volkswagen Golf or a Ford Focus, but that's exactly why it's such a hidden gem. Built with simplicity in mind, the 1.6 petrol versions avoid the turbocharged complexity of many rivals. The result? An engine that just keeps going, year after year, with minimal fuss. Owners across the UK praise the i30 for being incredibly dependable. MOT records show far fewer failures than rivals of the same age, and most problems are minor: bulbs, tyres, or brake wear. Serious mechanical issues are surprisingly rare. Even at higher mileages, these cars often just need routine servicing to keep them going strong. Hyundai's generous warranty also helped build its reputation. Many i30s sold in Britain came with 5 or even 7-year cover, meaning second and third owners often benefited from dealer-backed peace of mind. And because the i30 was never seen as a flashy choice, many were owned by careful drivers who maintained them well, rather than thrashed company cars. The downside? The i30 doesn't have the sharpest handling or the most premium interior, so it flies under the radar. But for buyers who value low running costs, cheap parts, and bulletproof dependability, it's one of the most underrated hatchbacks in the UK market. Next, we shrink things down to a super mini. The Suzuki Swift might look small and playful, but under the skin, it's one of the toughest little cars you can buy. Number 4. Suzuki Swift. The Suzuki Swift has always been the cheeky underdog of the super mini world. It doesn't have the prestige of a Polo or the popularity of a Fiesta, but ask any mechanic and they'll tell you, the 1.2 petrol Swift is one of the most dependable small cars on the road. The magic lies in its simplicity. The naturally aspirated 1.2 engine has no turbochargers, no complex emissions systems, and very little to go wrong. It's light, efficient, and happily runs for 180,000 miles with nothing more than routine oil changes and basic servicing. Unlike many rivals, it doesn't chew through clutches or timing chains, making long-term ownership refreshingly stress-free. Owners love it because it feels nimble and fun, yet it's also incredibly cheap to keep on the road. Insurance is low, fuel economy is strong, and MOT records show very few serious failures. Most Swifts pass with only minor advisories. Even when faults appear, parts are inexpensive and easy to source. The only drawback? The Swift is compact, so it won't suit families needing loads of boot space. But as a commuter, first car, or second runabout, it's hard to beat. It's the kind of car that owners only replace when they need something bigger, not because it's broken. Next, we step up to a slightly larger hatchback from South Korea. The Kia Ceed might not look exciting, but with its long warranty and bulletproof engines, it's become a dealer favorite and a smart choice for used buyers. Number 3. Kia Ceed. For years, Kia was dismissed as a budget brand. But the Ceed quietly changed that perception. And the 1.6 petrol, especially the pre-turbo models, has built a reputation as one of the most dependable family hatchbacks you can buy. The secret? Again, simplicity. The naturally aspirated 1.6 doesn't have the complexity of turbos, direct injection, or fragile emission systems. That means fewer failure points and lower repair costs. Owners regularly report these engines reaching 130,000 miles with little more than basic servicing. Unlike many rivals, timing chain and head gasket problems are rare, making it a low-risk choice for used buyers. Add in Kia's famous long warranty, up to 7 years when new, and many used examples are still covered today. Even once the warranty expires, the Ceed remains affordable to fix, with parts and servicing cheaper than German or even some French rivals. MOT pass rates are solid, with failures usually limited to consumables like tyres or brakes. It may not be glamorous, and nobody's going to mistake it for a hot hatch, but the Ceed is a workhorse. It's the kind of car dealers like because it sells quickly and buyers trust it, knowing they won't be back in 6 months with a broken turbo or clogged DPF. Next on the list is a car from the Czech Republic that proves boring can sometimes be brilliant. The Skoda Fabia might not turn heads, but it's one of the toughest little cars on UK roads. Number 2. Skoda Fabia. The Skoda Fabia has never been about glamour. It doesn't have the badge appeal of a Golf or the style of a Mini. But if you want a small car that just works, the 1.2 MPI petrol version is a hidden gem. This engine is as simple as they come. No turbochargers, no direct injection, no fragile high-tech systems. That simplicity translates into reliability. Owners often report these Fabias covering well over 150,000 miles without a single major issue, provided they get basic oil changes and routine servicing. For young drivers or families on a budget, that's peace of mind money can't buy. Where many rivals fail MOTs for emissions or engine faults, the Fabia tends to only get advisories on consumables like tyres, bulbs or brakes. Suspension is solid, parts are cheap, and because it shares components with Volkswagen and Seat, availability is never an issue. Insurance is low, running costs are minimal, and mechanics love them because they're straightforward to fix. Sure, it's not the fastest or flashiest Super Mini, but that's the point. The Fabia is proof that boring can be brilliant, because boring means fewer breakdowns, fewer bills, and a car that simply keeps going. And if you want something with a little more flair but the same Toyota-grade toughness, the next car delivers exactly that. The Yaris has earned its reputation as one of the most durable city cars on the road. Number 1. Toyota Yaris. If there's one small car that's built an almost legendary reputation in the UK, it's the Toyota Yaris. The 1.3 petrol version, in particular, has proven itself to be one of the toughest city cars money can buy. Simple, durable, and engineered with Toyota's trademark reliability, these cars just refuse to die. Owners frequently report Yaris models surpassing 170,000, even 220,000 miles, with nothing more than routine servicing. The naturally aspirated 1.3 engine is bulletproof. No turbos to blow, no complex emissions systems to clog, and no fragile electronics to ruin your day. Even at high mileage, they keep running smoothly, often outlasting rivals that cost far more to buy and maintain. At MOT time, Yaris models shine. Failure rates are consistently below the national average for small cars, with most faults limited to wear and tear items like tyres, bulbs, or brake pads. Suspension holds up well, emissions stay clean, and parts, when needed, are cheap and readily available. That's why so many older Yaris models are still on the road today, still starting first time every morning. The best part? Because they don't carry the same hype as some rivals, used prices are reasonable. A well-kept Yaris might not turn heads on your driveway, but it'll save you thousands over the years in avoided repairs. The Toyota Yaris proves what this entire list is about. Reliable doesn't always mean boring. It means freedom from breakdowns, surprise bills, and the constant worry of what might go wrong next. So, there you have it. 9 cheap cars that are actually reliable. From the bulletproof Toyota Auris to the long-lasting Honda Jazz, these models prove you don't need to spend a fortune to drive something dependable. They might not be flashy, they might not set your pulse racing, but when the goal is avoiding breakdowns and unexpected repair bills, these cars deliver every single time. And remember, the used car market is full of so-called bargains that are actually money pits waiting to happen. The cars we've covered today are the opposite. They're the hidden gems, the safe bets, the ones mechanics secretly respect. Buy smart, and you'll not only save money up front, but you'll also save yourself years of headaches down the road. Now it's over to you. Have you ever owned one of these cars? Did it live up to its reputation for reliability? Or did it surprise you with a nasty bill? Drop your story in the comments below, because your experience might help someone else avoid a costly mistake. If this video saved you from buying a dud, smash that like button. Subscribe and ring the bell for more no-nonsense car advice every single week. And don't forget, share this video with a mate who's car shopping. you might just save them thousands. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to cheap used cars, it's not about what looks the best, it's about what lasts the longest. And these 9 models prove that sometimes boring really is brilliant.